Good evening. This is Sandy Shellis for Environmental Coffee House, and welcome to That Was the Week That Was. And this week is interesting, so I want you to stay with me. I've got a pretty good setup tonight, and we're going to talk about an article that struck me. Out of all the things that we do, we have a lot going on. I mean, this week we had the article that happened that officials in Wisconsin are testing the environmental and health impacts following a frack sand sludge spill that has now reached the Mississippi River. So things like that. We had some good good articles on some electronics. It's actually an interesting area I'm taking you to tonight. The article that I want to start out with, and I'm going to do it right now and say hi to everybody. Thank you for coming. This article, and stay with me, guys, because it may get a little low, and then we're going to go a little high. And I've got some slides and a video to show you tonight. So it's a maiden voyage on that one. And it's good to see you guys. So this is from a publication called Resilience. And this publication is pretty interesting. I think I've been finding some very good writing, or writing that is provocative. This article is called "We Are All in the Clutches of the Delusional Dragon." Now, I'm only going to tell you, I'm not going to read the whole thing. We're going to talk about some things after I go through these 5 different points that they bring up in this article. It's time to accept that we're not going to dislodge the entrenched interests holding back effective action on looming climate chaos by any means tried so far. Believing that 97% of credible scientists is consensus enough is 103% short for effective response. Even 200% may not be enough. Undeniability and incontrovertibility are the only criteria that will work to break through the hydra-headed delusion dragon clutching all of us. Systems change is necessary. Incontrovertibly, broken systems must be shown and viscerally felt. Perceiving unavoidable disaster is what can trigger responses. The dragon must be made visible. An Earth Systems view, that's where we're going. Earth Systems view makes clear the comprehensive catastrophic pathway we were on, and having it felt viscerally is actually easier than it seems. Now, as I said in my intro, it's not all doom and gloom. We must go through this, though. I want you to stick with me. Their number 1 big thing is called plastic pandemonium. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because we all know what's going on with plastic. Number 2, snuffing out the remaining mammals except for humans and our domesticates. We talk about this too. In America, taking over 200% of what the earth can regenerate each year, spending over twice our real income. So it's like the ecological footprint versus biocapacity, and they're talking about the USA. What I'm really going to get to here is number 4. Making ravenousness, being ravenous, a preferred way of life this last 2/3 of a century. The sharp takeoff of human impacts since mid-20th century is known as the Great Acceleration. Now, this may be a refresher course on the Great Acceleration for you, or this may be just brand new for you, but we're going to go through this. It's really interesting on how we are where we are. And it's a little sciencey tonight. I'm not doing a big political spiel here. This is real, and this is something that has to happen, and we're going to go full circle. So let me do something tonight that I'm going to try. I want to show you, well, I'll read you one more thing, and then I'm going to show you a PowerPoint. The International Geosphere Biosphere Program describes it this way. The second half of the 20th century is unique in the history of human existence. Many human activities reached takeoff points sometime in the 20th century and sharply accelerated towards the end of the century. The last 60 years have without a doubt seen the most profound transformation of the human relationship with the natural world in the history of humankind. That's my whole life. I'm not 60, but the effects of the accelerating human changes are now clearly discernible at the Earth system level. Many key indicators of the functioning of the Earth system are now showing responses that are at least in part driven by the changing human imprint on the planet. The human imprint influences all components of the global environment, oceans, coastal zone, atmosphere, and land. And I want to show you, and we're going to try this out tonight, the Great Acceleration. I'm going to put this up, and it is a maiden view on me because I don't like this one. It's not going to work. We're going to do this one. Okay. I thought that was pretty good. Now, did you see? Oh no. Nobody could see any of that. Tell me. I don't know. What did you see? Nothing? Oh, that's a shame. Mindy tried to do it. So did everybody leave? Oh, let's see. Try the graphic. Okay, well, you know what? I guess I won't do that. I have a video I wanted to try after I talked about the Great Acceleration, which is taking us to the Anthropocene. But there is hope. But you couldn't hear me. You could see it, but you couldn't hear me. All right, well, these are technical things that I'm going to have to work out with this software. This is called Be Live software. It's too bad I did a good commentary, even though you could see those. I probably lost people, but that is something that I guess it was a big it was a big thing because that's just where we've arrived at the thought of being where we are in the Anthropocene. And I really, really, really wish I could show you the video, see how it works. Anyway, we might try it. It's all an exercise. It's all learning for me anyway. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to try something different. If this doesn't work, maybe I'll do, what is it, Google Hangouts? I want to try something different, but I don't know if that works for Facebook. So we're going to go into another topic. So after this great acceleration and we know how we've gotten here, where we are, correct? There is an organization called the Climate Mobilization. The Climate Mobilization is, and I don't have a graphic, but the Climate Mobilization is a really interesting organization. And we put up an article on the website on the Facebook page that showed what's going on. LA votes to explore Climate Emergency Mobilization Department. This group exists because we need to do this in every city, everywhere. Mobilize together. Not to be, oh, Mindy, unplugged the headphone. Okay. Not to be a alarmist, but it is an alarming situation. So climate mobilization, the science, they say time's up. 3 reasons why gradualism won't save us. Reason 1, the idea of a safe upper limit to warming is a myth. For years, policymakers considered 2 degrees Celsius of warming over pre-industrial levels, the point at which dangerous climate change would begin. What this really meant was that this is when we think it'll get bad for the rich countries. The UNFCCC Paris Climate Agreement set a goal of keeping warming to well below 2 degrees centigrade. Now I got all messed up because of the fact that you all didn't hear me this century. But of the 195 signatories of the Paris Agreement, only 7 countries' commitments are considered compatible with the agreement's goal targets. All of them are in the global south. Former NASA scientist James Hansen, we showed videos from him, has repeatedly described the 2 degrees Celsius temperature target as a prescription for disaster. In 2009, Lumumba Stanislas D. Epping, the Sudanese chairman of the G77, urged the world community to abandon the target. 2 degrees centigrade of warming translates into certain death for Africa. Not only would 2 degrees centigrade of warming devastate crop yields across the planet, it would likely cause complete collapse of the Greenland ice sheet and an enormous sea level rise that would render the planet ungovernable. Okay, so happy Friday night, right? But it is not all, we all have to understand in order to take action, don't we? We have to understand why we're doing what we're doing. They have number 2. There is no carbon budget if we face reality. The truth is the atmosphere very likely already contains enough greenhouse gases to eventually warm the earth to more than 2°C. And then number 3, we probably shouldn't gamble the future of all life on technologies that don't exist yet. Gradual emissions reduction plans, such as those outlined in the Paris Agreement, depend on the development and large-scale deployment of negative emissions technologies in the future to offset decades of continuing emissions. Well, they actually, though, have a plan. So they get you in, but they have a plan. And their plan is city by city, and they have a solution. They have solutions. And it's not just, they have a new approach. Emergency climate mobilization. Faced with a catastrophically failing system, the only rational response is a system overhaul. Now that's where the politicians have to come in, if it would ever happen. To protect humanity, we need a massive transformation of our economy and society in a matter of years, not decades. We must rapidly direct our resources toward a singular national purpose, restoring a safe climate for our world, the climate mobilization. Only the federal government can spend as much as necessary to save as much life as possible. And don't we know that from the folks over at the MMT side of the fence? That's exactly what's happening here. They have a victory plan for the earth. Decade transition, reduce demand, drawdown, rebuild transport, transform agriculture, restore ecosystems. Mobilization is an emergency restructuring of a modern industrial economy accomplished at a rapid speed. The only way we can do this is to change our political system, and we have to do it fast. And everybody's arguing all the time, and everybody's always messed up about, some of the little stuff, and this is the big stuff. The climate mobilization is the big stuff. While we have never faced a threat of this scale, we have also never met a greater opportunity. A just transition means not only preventing unimaginable suffering from climate and environmental catastrophe, but reinventing our economy to address the social inequities on which an extractive economy is based. We can call on lawmakers to phase out industries that are harmful to human life and create new pathways for equitable, sustainable livelihoods. We can invigorate local economies with new industries to protect the climate while providing dignified, productive work for all. I'm going to put the links up for that also, because I think the climate mobilization really matches Environmental Coffee House fairly well. What I hope my team would like to see, people be prepared, people be ready, and let's change the world if we can. Lofty goals. But there's a lot of us out here yelling from the rooftops that things have to change. And I'm a consumer. And I am that generation that went up and up and up and up in the Great Acceleration. And I'm sometimes stuck in it. And I have gas-powered vehicles, one of which I rode my motorcycle today, wishing that I had had a chance 20 or 30 years ago for an opportunity that wasn't powered by fossil fuels. I'm going to try one more thing. I have a video I want to show you. And I'm going to put a couple of you on. Hi, Carl. How are you? And let's see, Mindy's here. Mindy. Thank you, Mindy, very much, because I have to figure out why the sound didn't work, why my narrating the whole slideshow was like you guys sitting there telling jokes to each other. Okay, I mean, this is serious stuff, the Great Acceleration. And again, some people probably have also been through and heard of. I mean, of course, it's out there. And it's exactly what happened. It's what is happening. And Heidi is here. Hi, Heidi. It's Climate Mobilization. We'll get you more information. I am just learning about this one. And I'm going to be honest, because I really like it. And, okay, so I want to try something, and let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to put up a video because it's an inspiring video, and I really need to see you guys to see if this is going to work. All right, this is a test for me to do this. So first, I'm putting this one up, and I don't know if I should take the headphones off or what. I could try that, right, Mindy? Or just unplug them, and we'll do this. I want to see if this works. You can't hear the video. Could you hear the video? All right. Goodbye. It's too bad. I'll put the video up for you guys. And now it won't even shut off. Wait, let's get it out. All I hear is the video. Unfortunately, I have to shut it down. Okay, I will put the link to the video up. It was really, really good. And I'm so sorry that things just don't seem to be working out with this medium to hear. But, you know, you try, right? I tried my best. And better luck next time. I really wanted to show you the video with Katharine Hayhoe because she's amazing. And she is part of a movement to actually, it's similar to climate mobilization, but they're talking about getting philanthropists involved, because basically they're talking and saying, we know the government isn't going to work, right? Can you hear me? You should be able to hear me. Yeah. So basically everybody's got ideas for me. Thank you tonight. I got to put it up because this is so cute. Yeah. I'll learn. I'll get there. I have no idea. Thanks, Joanne. I think you're all so sweet. I'll figure it out. I wish I had like my own live-in tech person. I have my own live-in carpenter, bike mechanic, cook, but he's not a tech person. So I don't have one of those. But we'll figure this out. This software does have support. But this video was really nice, and it was a nice way that I was going to end this for you, to tell you about what they're calling on and the seriousness. And Katharine Hayhoe is a scientist, but she does everything with such grace and finesse. And they're saying philanthropists have to come forward, because we know, at least right now, the government's not going to do anything. We have to get these people that have big money, just like the political overtaking of what's happening now, but we need to overtake it with philanthropists that understand that climate change and our environment is the biggest issue of our time. Everything is underneath, because if we don't have air and if we don't have clean water, we can't survive. And I'm not saying that I think anything where we're going to be, 10 years, 5 years. I say, as I always say, we fight. So I brought you the Climate Mobilization tonight. I brought you the article from Resilience. We talked about the Great Acceleration, which showed exactly how we've gotten to the Anthropocene, which we're in now. We've talked about the fact that humans and the animals that we raise are crowding out basically all of the other wildlife in the world. But we're all here, aren't we? You and me and everybody out there who might see this, we're all here. We can find one of these organizations and we can get busy. And I like the Climate Mobilization. I'm going to check them out. I've checked out other things, but I like this one. So I thank you for coming. Oh, Marcia. Hi, Marcia. Thanks for coming. I went through everything. Oh, Jeff, the pool boy can fix it. You're funny. I have to have a pool to have a pool boy. Anyway, Marcia missed all the fun. Oh, here's the video link. Brian put it up. Okay, and I'll put them all up. I know, Brian, you're a Climate Mobilization fan, so I'd like to say. Oh, Jeff had said the volume was really low, but I like to say thanks for coming and thank you for hanging with me through this learning experience. And it's a learning experience for me. And I also thought it was quite eye-opening to review and go back to the Great Acceleration and the PowerPoints. I found them a long time ago before I learned, when I learned about what the Anthropocene was and what we were doing, and we woke up and here we are. So thanks for coming. Aw, Heidi, thank you. We'll have another show next week. Maybe I won't try to be so technical. We'll just have me reading and us discussing. So peace. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming.